y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. I promise y'all, it truly does mean the world to me. But with that being said, what we're talking about Quant network in this one, okay, you guys? We're talking about something called LACChain. And if you follow me for a while, we've already talked about LACChain in the past, but we have a LACChain update from one of the participants of LACChain. So you can see that Quant network and the infrastructure that they're building methodically around the world, putting themselves in payment and financial systems infrastructure. Like, I don't think people the weight of that doesn't really come down on most people who talk about Quant or discuss Quant or have never even heard of Quant, because for it to be doing what it is doing in the realm of Web3, it should be just as big and well known as Bitcoin. And I promise you one day it will be. But anyway, so in this first video, this is just a refresher, just showing you that Quant most definitely is tied to LACChain, okay? Because it's actually a video coming from the Quant team themselves, okay? Here we go, and I'll be right back.
In Latin America, around half of people don't have a bank account at all, and about 80% don't have a credit card. That means hundreds of millions of people without access to crucial financial tools like payments, loans, or money transfers. The team at Quant believes blockchain technology can bring financial inclusion to the entire region, going beyond the traditional banking system to help serve the so-called unbanked.
By implementing blockchain technology, they're able to leapfrog all the legacy infrastructure and the barriers that they've had in the past to real world, real time, and digital assets in a very short period of time, benefiting people by having better payment systems to facilitate more innovation, stronger GDP growth, and allowing for seamless trade between the different parties.
Quant founder and CEO Gilbert Verdian is an expert in using blockchain for payments. Blockchains are like digital records, storing information about transactions or contracts. Quant's platform, called Overledger, makes developing for different blockchains easy. It links them and other legacy systems together, allowing financial services to cross digital and physical borders.
Our approach is bringing the technology to the masses, and you can't be limited by geography. The very nature of blockchain is global, and the very nature of how society and businesses operate today is through globalization is also global.
Now Quant is providing digital payments for an ambitious project called LACChain, which links 12 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean, along with scores of regional institutions, businesses, and governments.
So in a region as Latin America and the Caribbean, where there's different countries, where different currencies, different jurisdictions, we have always tried to build LACChain as an infrastructure that could allow the development of solutions that would help cross-border payments and financial inclusion.
LACChain will give anyone with a smartphone the power to make and receive payments and send money abroad, making it a potential game changer for those without access to traditional banks.
I want to pay my friend and they're in Colombia and I'm in Panama. So I press pay, go into my contacts, and the network knows who they are. They have a digital identity as well. That's it. Then I just tell them, how much do I want to pay? And I hit pay.
LACChain could also help when disaster strikes. Distributing government aid to victims of natural disasters can be slow and expensive. But with LACChain, funds could arrive in a flash.
They have an app on their phone where you can just push the money straight to it. Right? It doesn't cost you any of that. It's immediate. As long as they've got mobile phone service, then they've got money they can spend with a QR code, right, in the grocers and the shops, so they can buy food, they can buy water, they can buy all of the things that they need directly with their phone on the day.
LACChain is about more than just financial inclusion. It's also designed to arm people with the digital tools they need to thrive in the modern world. Something like a digital ID card, which can be tough to get and isn't always transferable between countries.
It's a much bigger idea, really, because the whole point of this regional network, and a lot of them actually, is to bring a lot of what people's lives are, which are in lots of separate different areas, bring them together, make them easier, make everything easier. So you're traveling between regions, doing business with other countries, making payments between countries. It lowers these kind of the big walls that you have, the big walls of red tape, really, between countries within that region.
Quant will help officially launch the LACChain project in 2023, with the potential to rocket an entire region into the future.
So now, as we see from Quant and several other players of LACChain in that video, just a refresher. I mean, it's always good to refresh yourself of these things, because a lot of people tend to forget the past so quickly because we're so forward to try to catch the next news story, you know, but then we forget about the foundation that's already has been being laid for years now, okay? But anyway, so on the GBBC, which stands for the Global Blockchain Business Council, I had some videos come out about it already, so you guys would have already saw a couple of those things. But on another one of those panels, it was a young lady from one of the Central and South American countries that are utilizing LACChain. And does she mention LACChain? And does she mention the processes? Yes. Follow me on this. Quant Network is all over these different entities. You know what I'm saying? Even if you think about the launch of Overledger commercial, they like, we worked on cross-border stuff in Italy. We did this with LACChain. We did this now with Project Rosalind. Like, this has been a methodic move, showing, you know, this can be done on massive levels, and we are the team to do it. We're safe, we're resilient, we're future-proof. We could be your security, we could be your data tracking, we could be your transacting, we could be your interoperability of their transacting in multiple other different ways, with things like Quant Flow and Quant Pace Scripts and Quant Fusion 2.5 and Quant Authorize and Overledger itself. Like, these processes that we're now getting products of, well, this is stuff that would have already been being worked on in the background. So you've had these players, these multinational corporations and countries, literally countries, using this technology. But also, it was almost, think of it like a testing ground, because like any rollout of anything with any company or anything, you always test a small market first to see if it's feasible. And if you get the reaction you believe you're going to get, and no matter what you're doing, you then do a phase of rollout around the country, company, whatever the case may be, depending on when you're doing your test market. LACChain was our test market. LACChain was, can a digital dollar be cross-border? Can it be this? Can it be that? Can it be safe? Can it be resilient? LACChain was the test market. Like, that's why in one of the documents that we brought in another one of the LACChain videos, they called LACChain like the blueprint. And what do you do with the blueprint? You build from it. Understand truly what is being laid out right in front of us that nobody truly is paying attention to, okay, you guys? But here we go, that video, and it's the young lady on the stage. I forget which industry or whatever the case may be, as far as what part of banking she's in, or if it's on the trading side, because they were talking about two different things on this particular panel. But anyway, she mentions being a part of LACChain, which is the most important part of it all. And she talks about the cross-border payments and things of that nature. So here we go, that video, and I will be right back.
I'd love to take us on a little world tour of one specific use case, which is more around the digital bonds piece, while we have our different partners here to see what's going on outside of the US as well. So Irene, starting with you as head of IDB Lab, you've been working with a lot of countries. The Latin American region is a hotspot in terms of innovation on this front. Could you share a little bit, please, of the recent developments in the digital bond market in Colombia, and also with IDB as an issuer?
Yes, thank you, Carol, and thank you, Sandra and the GBBC team for hosting us. This is a great opportunity, see a lot of partners in the room. So in terms of before I get into the examples, I think we see a lot of momentum as well in emerging markets, in Latin America and the Caribbean in particular. Most countries, both from the government side and the private sector side, ready to continue, to use this technology at different levels. So we've done our part as an institution. We are the largest development finance provider to Latin America and the Caribbean, and so working from the foundations in laying sandboxes with different regulators across the region, to developing a public permission network through LACChain operated by LACCnet to help accelerate the use, and that has led to an acceleration of the adoption of the technology. And a couple of the examples. The one in Colombia was a $10 million bond issuance by Davivienda, the third largest bank in the country, and it was in the sandbox of the Superfinanciera of the local regulator. Clearly proved, and that was over 4 years ago, the efficiencies, the transparency, the reduction in cost, and the improvements in terms of settlement cost and process were there, and that it could be done in countries like Colombia. Since then, we've seen many other developments, and we'll talk about the case of Brazil and how Argentina is implementing these things and so on, and some that have done it at much, much larger scale. But we also wanted to walk the talk, and so our own bond issuances, when IDB funds itself in the market, so we did in 2022, we did a bond issuance of IDB itself in the regulated market, in BME owned by Next in Spain, with Iberclear, with the collaboration with Citibank and BBVA, and that was an end-to-end blockchain issuance. That got replicated now last year in Luxembourg with a $5 million issuance in pounds, and so on. So I think that we're seeing the applications, and we are also, as an institution that is keen to see all of this momentum to continue to grow and the adoption within the regulated market. We are also putting our own treasury to use it and show that it brings a lot of benefits.
The retail CBDC in Latin America for 12 countries, and this is really creating the Latin American dollar. It's a way to upgrade the financial infrastructure for these countries to 2022, because most of them are using very old or antiquated methods of settlement and payment rails. Having digital assets really enables the growth of that economy and the cross-border flow of money and trade across those 12 countries initially, and then we're connecting that up to the US. So we've seen the practical benefit of a retail CBDC to the end user, to the end business, having access to real-time settlement, real-time money, and cross-border flows, which they never had a year or two ago. And the work that we're doing is actually going live in 2023 across Latin America.
So you just saw directly from a participant of LACChain. You saw how Quant Network is tied to LACChain. Understand, when these things go from being small projects running in the background on private and permissioned networks to global projects affecting everyone's everyday lives, because it's hitting you in several different facets of your life. Like, think about it. We're talking about digital identity. We're talking about digital currencies. We're talking about now the digitization of real estate and housing, then cars, anything of value. So even the way that you do just your normal transaction that you do with buying and selling a car, buying and selling a house, going to the store, everything that you do financially is getting ready to get the biggest technological shift and change that it has happened probably in history, but the fourth industrial revolution is what we're truly living through. And there will be history books wrote about it, just like there was history books wrote about the first industrial and the second industrial and the third industrial. But the fourth industrial truly is the onboarding of digital processes globally. Like, prime example, I have a DTCC video getting ready to come out, and they talk about how now you can go from your physical asset, you tokenize that asset, you swap that asset, and then you can take that on this end, go right back to the digital asset. But that sale of that asset just happened instantly. It didn't have to go through, paperwork or emails or this, that, and the third, and, waiting to close for this and waiting for this to fund for that. It happened instantly via a smart contract. And now think about how many times major transactions happen like that around the world, globally, cross-borderly. And understand that all of those electronic forms of payment is getting ready to now move onto digital rails, the fourth industrial revolution, which is blockchain and distributed ledger technologies. We are, just like if you think of like the Rockefellers or the Vanderbilts or the Astors and all these people, all of these American families, the Rothschild, but there's some Rothschilds over here as well, but most of that was over in anyway. Think about these mega families. They all invested in infrastructure. Even with the Rothschilds, it was banking, infrastructure. And understand what distributed ledger technology is and truly see that a quant network, a Hedera hash graph, a XRP and an XLM, XDC, they are helping to provide infrastructure, the infrastructure to make the fourth industrial revolution a true global reality. So truly see where your life can be in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years of this infrastructure that's being laid right now in 2025. Over the next 4 years, be massively adopted globally. I'm telling you guys, what they are doing, I got so many videos coming out, what they are doing. The DTCC alone is talking about bringing on $90 trillion. Understand what I'm telling, what I'm saying to you right now. And that's just one entity. Now think of all the clearing houses, even think of BlackRock, even think of things like BNY Mellon, think of all these players that I've brought you in the past that are talking about tokenization or stable coins, the digitizations of their processes as far as their capabilities at whatever company that they've been a part of. And understand that this is all converging at the same time of global regulation and global standards. ISO 222. ISO TC 307, Secure Asset Transfer Protocol coming out of the IETF. These are why. Look at some of these go live dates for these things. See that they are all in unison with one another in Quant Network and several other players. But in this video is about Quant. Quant Network is facilitating a huge piece to make that a global reality. If you made it all the way through this entire video, type in LACChain, because this update from LACChain only shows you that Quant Network, although they may not post a lot, or although they may not have many news articles often, they are still working diligently in the background. And you just saw a player from one of the projects they are facilitating or helping to facilitate. Until the next time, y'all already know. Type in LACChain, because Quant, they surely are king. And I appreciate y'all. Till the next time, peace out.